Welcome to News with a View, hosted by me, John A. Costa. Today is July 26th, July 6th. Wishful thinking on my part. And this should be episode 89 of our show. This is a conservative-leaning show. I host it a couple of times a week. It's been a little lacking in the last couple of weeks because I have been ill. So, not on the mend, but is what it is. Today's show, as I said, this is a conservative-leaning show. I take in the Constitution, I take in our rights, I take in our laws, and if it makes sense and it's allowable, have at it. And really, it doesn't always have to make sense. And I said this about the Democrats too, as long as it's allowable. If it's allowed to be done by one party, then what's the problem? It's when it conflicts with our personal liberties and our rights that it should become a problem for everyone. I'm a Republican. I'm a conservative. I'm a federalist. I point to, let me get back to these guys. I point to the book. Now, I just noticed that my camera got realigned and it's not taking in my books as I normally have my books there. It's more going towards the side. You get to see some more of my pictures and things that I have up here. These are all Disney pictures. You see the elephant over there. That's because my favorite ride at Disney is the Jungle Cruise. In the back, I was asked by people, what is the big press? What is that up there? That was a printing press in the 1960s that you could make your own newspapers and cards and a whole bunch of things. And it was a fun thing to do. I had that, lino print. I lost everything in a house fire when I was in the 7th grade. Lost all my childhood toys. House was pretty well burned down. We got out with the skin of our teeth, but we got out. And I always vowed that at one point in my life, I would try to get those toys back. And these were toys that were always precious to me, and my brothers and I would play with them. And I did. I got my toys back. And this room is dedicated to my toys and my trinkets and even my wife's toys and things that she had as a child. And yes, we're living in the past. Yes, this will all end up on some 25 cents table at a tag sale. I get it. But for me, it brings back good memories. I have, for the most part, good childhood memories. I hope everyone else does too. All right, today, getting off the subject a bit, the demise of the Democratic Party. And you're hearing now a lot, well, not a lot, but you are getting warning signs from very powerful Democrats that maybe they should not have invited the progressives into the one big tent, all right? Progressives take the lead over the Democrats heading into the 2026 midterms. The split in the one big tent concept of the DNC to try to corral the progressives into a more appealing view for moderate Democrat contributors, aka money, has all but failed. Progressives are collecting dollars that have historically went to the DNC first and then got funneled out, and you get a little piece of this. Now, those funds are going directly into the coffers of the progressives. And longtime contributors to the DNC, like students, colleges, LGBTQ groups, NAACP, Southern Poverty Law Group, and other groups that held onto the shirt tails of the DNC for helping to push their agenda. They got, a lot of times these groups did not get a seat at the table, but they did get to stand and talk to those at the table. Now they have been given a seat and now have taken that table over. And who didn't see this coming? Honestly, who didn't see this coming? And now the progressives are at a point of self-funding, be it from people like Soros and Neville Roy Singham, an American former tech mogul and millionaire, well, he's a billionaire, who relocated in Shanghai, who is with very close ties to the Chinese People's Party. And both of these individuals, Soros and Singham, have set up shell companies and shell groups to funnel money into these progressive causes. We've seen district attorneys, we've seen mayors that have now been elected. Normally would not have gotten 10% of what they collected, but they are now mayors of big cities. So these two individuals also funded Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and Acorn, and other radical groups. And I say radical because they are radical groups. They go against our system. And a handful of powerful Democrats had sounded a warning of the disaster coming in November, as progressives have unseated people. President Trump, I've only been on for 8 minutes, and not to call. And yet you do. And I love you. I know you've had some setbacks. But look at your overall wins. You're still in the top 80s, my friend. All right. And I was saying, only a handful of Democrats have sounded a warning coming November, as progressives have unseated Democrats in primaries by very close margins. Not by much, but enough to win. So they've taken, let's say, leftist-leaning Democrats and now pushed them out and actually have a leftist candidate up there running against either a moderate Democrat, like in California, or a conservative Republican. Many moderate Democrats are not going to support the progressives. They didn't want them. They were going for the other person. Do you think they're going to just go, all right, I'll vote for the progressive? You think that's really a logical thing that they're going to do? Or do you think they're either, one, not going to vote, or worse, for Democrats, vote for a Republican? Now, they are not going to financially support Republicans, but they ain't going to financially support the Democrats either. And the Democrats are losing a lot of funding, a lot of money that normally would come in. They're not getting it. The amount of rhetoric coming out of the left, of course, and the Democrats, we hate Trump, baby Trump, he's orange man, 24 convictions, and we know that that's all they got. And there's some people who go, well, that's all we need. Well, you want to base him on his color or his hair or his weight, and everything you scream about. But for him, it's okay because it's him. It's Trump. We hate him, so we don't care what happens. That's not a plan. Just so you know, that's a sickness. And love the Republicans, hate the Republicans. They have a plan and they have an agenda and a path to make those things happen. And people look at that and they go, well, you know what? I'll follow a plan, sometimes even a bad plan, but a plan. And you see what's going on inside the Democratic Party, and it's a revolution. It's a revolution. And you think you're going to win in 2026 with that? You have the Democrats, and some of them I don't pay any attention to, Carville. But he's out there screaming, hey, we're going to lose and we're going to lose big. And it's a type of loss that we might not be able to recover from too quickly. So in major cities, New York City, Seattle, Chicago, Philadelphia, and other cities, the economic remedies sought by these mayors, who are now progressives, during their campaigns is mind-blowingly unachievable. And we'll take Seattle, right? We're going to tax the rich. What do the rich do? They're rich enough, they move out. I'll just move to another city. I love the state. I'm just going to move to a different city where I'm not taxed. There you go. We're out of here. So now they're losing that. We'll tax the big employers. Big employers. I'm moving right down the road over there. And now you want to tax me on the tax, on the tax, on the tax. Not happening. I'm going to move to a city where I get assurances from them that they're not going to do the same crazy thing you're doing and tax me out of business. So now the tax the rich are gone, tax the employers are gone. Let's tax the landlords. Well, you could tax me. I'm not getting any rent on these things. So have at it. If I'm not making money, you ain't making money. So what does Seattle turn around and do? Oh, no. We're going to tax you on your empty space. Not just the money you make, but on the empty space. And these people are going, well, you know what? I sell the building. because this ain't going to end well. Then they'll start charging me per step, per piece of tile, per nail. So I'll just sell it and move on. It was good while it lasted. I made my money. I'm gone. So then what happens? That $175 million extra you thought you were going to get, mayor of Seattle, disappears. Now you were already saddled with debt that you had nothing to do with. Agreed. You didn't make that stuff happen. But you really did in Seattle do that. You started these groups, free transit, different rates for different people. You set up a caste system. And that kind of now cost money, because you still cost X amount of dollars to run these programs, to pay for your public works people. So now you're down $300 million. And what do? Now you got to start laying people off. Those people that supported you and said, hey, yeah, that's great. Tax the rich, tax them, and, you keep us afloat here. Yay, 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 yay. Well, those people aren't around anymore. And I can't pay you. So you got to go. Now, whatever restaurants, whatever delicatessens, whatever people that were using, local businesses, they're starting to suffer. These 15,000 jobs left over here, 6,000 jobs are going to lose over here. We're not getting the money in. I'm being taxed on the people I have, so I'm going to have to let them go. And what happens? You get a death spiral. Just keeps going until there's no one left. Guess what that's called, folks? Democratic socialism. And it only works if there's money. Your money. And when your money's not there, and they can't get it from anyone else, in the middle of the night, they pack up and leave. Because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. They're making it businesses unable to work in those states: California, Washington, Oregon, Arizona. And they're just pushing out these businesses to friendlier states: Texas, Tennessee, Florida, South Carolina. And it's just not happening on the West Coast. Look at what's going on in New York. Look at what's going on in New Jersey. I mean, the outpour of businesses out of New Jersey should have Cory Booker, who is, looking again to run on a presidential level. And he doesn't seem concerned. He's more concerned of getting rid of Donald Trump. Donald Trump is gone in a month, in a couple of months. I mean, he's gone. He's no longer a problem here. So, it is a fake thing. He should be saying, I'm going to put America back on step, not, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. And you're going to lose. And then you could go and scream, it's race, it's a white man thing, and you can go down those roads again. See how that works for you again. The Democrats have done nothing. Honestly, have done nothing. More and more lies from the Biden administration are coming out. More and more fraud. And it's going to be hard for them to distance themselves from this. Chicago, huge troubles there. Not only with the crime rate, which is ridiculous. Now New York City is seeing the crime rate tick up, murder rates and shootings and things. So Chicago is coming to New York. And what do you have? The mayor's response in all these cities and stuff? Defund the police. The police is the problem. That's the problem, the police. And wait till you have the fire department turn around and go, we're not going into certain areas unless the police are there to protect us. And then you'll have these people screaming, you let our cities burn down. Do you see where the Democrats are going here, folks? Do you see where your Mondanis and all these progressives are taking you to? And you think you're going to be safe in the suburbs? Westchester, you think you're going to be safe in New York? Long Island, you think you're going to be safe? Take a look at Paterson, New Jersey, Passaic. I mean, all these, outside the areas, were good areas. It won't be. It won't be because socialism is like cancer. And, if it gets too big, you can't cut it out. The patient dies. I don't know where we're headed to. I don't like where we're headed to. But at least we're putting the brakes on. We're pumping the brakes. We're trying to do something. And I'm talking about the Republicans. They're trying to do something. And I can look back and the Republicans are just as guilty. Just as guilty. I didn't blame Bill Clinton for NAFTA. Even though his fingerprints are on it and stuff because he was forced to. And that was the beginning that I saw. I mean, I saw in the 60s and 70s the end of organized labor. And not because of corruption. There was always corruption. There's corruption, right now in government. We're seeing it. Wherever there's money, there's going to be corruption. You try to limit it. You try to look for it and prevent it. But it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You root it out and you punish those that need punishing. But where I see us going now with the progressive movement, this is all about equity. And when they talk about equity, they're talking about taking it from you and giving it to someone else. The same thing in communism. We took the land away. We're going to make it our land, which then makes it your land. Now you go work it. You don't have a say on what grows on it. You don't have a say on how much of it you get to keep. And that's what communism is about. And that's what these socialists are about. Call it social democrat. We're different. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not different. Lies. Lies. And more lies. You lie. Was that my script? We've seen nothing from the Democrats that make any sense. The shouts of "No king, we hate Trump, Trump is orange." He's fat, his hair is funny. It's not a plan, folks. Like I said before, it's a sickness. You have a sickness. Come up with plans. And the things that you do come up with are, ridiculous. Because they're not feasible. And again, the Democrats, the party of hopes and dreams. And I said this before. Only place that kind of works a little bit in and you're paying for it is if you go to Disney. We hope all your wishes and dreams come true. Now pay $165 and we'll let you in. If not, you could look at the gate. So, the idea of hopes and dreams, dreamers. No, how about doers? Not too much to ask the Democrats? Bring something to the table, folks, if you can. You won't, because it's just not in your wheelhouse. Not in your wheelhouse. You refuse to come out and fight. Because you got nothing. You got nothing. And, 2026 is here. It's now July. August, September, October. 90 days. This is the memory cycle for most voters. Anything that happened before this goes away. And now all the stuff that starts coming out, well, that's the stuff that's going to stick. And it's going to get interesting for the Democrats, not in a good way, not in a good like, hey, they're making good sense. No. And the Democrats will look for every reason to scream that they were maligned, that it was, all a lie, that this was the lies of Donald Trump, and his goons, his cult. And, you saw who Trump aligned himself with, and you saw who Biden aligned himself with. I'm not saying I liked everyone that Donald Trump picked. I would have chosen some other people. Not many, maybe 2 or 3 different people. But as far as Biden, I mean, he had people up there with mental disorders. Remember the guy that stole the woman's clothes in the airport? And he was in charge of nuclear materials and things like that. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Department of Health, that guy that pretended he was a woman, and I mean, wasn't even an attractive woman in the sense of being dressing like an attractive woman. She actually looked like a guy wearing a wig. You'd expect to see that on, Benny Hill. And these were people that they were going to tell us how we should act and how we should be, right? Just crazy. We couldn't get Biden out of there quick enough. Couldn't get him out of there quick enough. Had to go. And, you have talks, Harris, wow, there's a word. That's a person we didn't think was going to have another word to say here. Well, she won't. And Newsom, you got to be kidding me. And Shapiro, they'll be bringing up his past. He ain't, believe me. He's got some skirt issues that he'll have to deal with, and he knows it if he runs. Haven't seen the Democrat yet. Pritzker out of Illinois? No. We haven't seen it yet. We have not seen it yet. And they're well, we don't even know if Vance is going to run, or wow, we're hoping that it's Rubio, and they were already trying to split the Republicans. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. The Trump Supreme Court vote, now that's done with. And you'll hear talk about, well, if we, win enough more seats in Congress, we'll make an amendment, Folks, that's not going to happen. I mean, I would love to see language that addresses birthrights and what they really meant. But the Supreme Court now has said what it really meant to them. And if you want to change that, you have the process to do it. That's it. That's it. Done. Over. Not finished, but for now it's over. There's stuff coming out more now about Trump's claim about election fraud, and a little bit more. So I think the next big thing will be the SAVE Act. And I think Trump will be able to push that now that, he lost the birthright issue. So, and I think that's going to also make coming to this country a little bit harder for people, that they're going to say, nope, you're 8 months pregnant, you come back after you have your baby. That's right. We can do that. We don't have to let you in. So you're going to see a big change with that. You're going to see a bigger change with immigration. See, here's a wider shot of more of my Disney. That's Harrison Ford, Orlando, right? Orlando. More artwork that I have from Disney. Not hitting Disney as much as I did because just not feeling up to it. It's a lot of walking. And unless I decide to go with a scooter and become one of the scooter people at Disney, I don't know if I want that. So, it does look great, but I don't know if I want to do that. So, I think my next show will be on the Democrats who are now running under the Democratic platform, who are progressives who pushed out people. And I'm talking about people like Graham Planter, Carly Valdez, Mia Vang, and Randy Villegas. And there's, of course, Maine, New York, California, and another one from California. And a lot of state people running for state House of Representatives in the Senate. Not national. On national, I think there's about 18 people, which is a very powerful amount, So, but I think that the races are going to be won by the Republicans in areas where they're up, where it's like this, and Democrats are going to win Democrats where they're up there. I think in Georgia and things like that, the Republicans are going to win those hands down. And I would love to see in some people in Florida lose. And some of those people got pushed out, too, in Texas. Al Green. Bye, Al. Bye, Al. Sorry, music stopped. No seat for you. No seat for you. And even in Florida, where the Democrats have pushed out other Democrats and took their seats to save their seats because their seat no longer exists, so they went after someone else's. And that's great. I love that type of infighting. And they're screaming about that. Is that Weingarten or whatever her name is? She took over someone's seat in the Black caucuses. They're screaming, you took our seat. Yeah, it's up for grabs. So it will be interesting to see how this works out. But it will work out for the Republicans. The Republicans will take about 10 seats in the House. The Senate, they might take 1 or 2 extra seats there. They're not going to get a blowout there or anything like that. I don't think Plantner is going to win in Maine. I guess it's possible, but I don't see that happening. So, I do see that John Fetterman will become an independent. I don't think he'll become a Republican. But, I definitely can see him being an independent. So, all right, this has been 40 minutes. I appreciate it putting up. I'm sorry again, I haven't been on as much as I want to be on. I probably will not be on tomorrow, unless something big happens. But Wednesday I'll be on. I'll do a show Wednesday in the morning and get it out the door. All right. Everyone, please give to a charity if you can. Need a lot of help out there. Just make sure it's a real charity that you go to. Don't become a victim helping a victim. Give to a local food bank. Does help, regardless if it's cash or food. It helps locally, and you end up feeling good. Say a prayer. Prayer does work, no matter what a Democrat might tell you. And, of course, you will know why I say that. If you don't, ask me. I'll tell you. And with that, everyone be safe, be well. And for some of you that have contacted me, saying, hey, you're losing weight, you're doing this, what are you doing? Yeah, thank you. But it's all being addressed. So I appreciate it all. Everyone, be safe, be well, as I fade to